Yo, what's up, guys? Good morning. Give me a second here. I'm just gonna post that I'm live on YouTube. I mean, on X. What? Why didn't it copy this? All right, there we go. So, let's see what's going on here. Wow, I did not expect this to be this clean, I'm not gonna lie. So we just took out all of this buy side. Hold on one second, guys. So we just took out all this buy side liquidity, and we do have this huge fair value gap here. Obviously, that's still unbalanced. I don't think that we're going to go all the way up to these levels today. I mean, it's an election. I doubt they're going to continue the market. So this is extremely bullish. This could also easily just be a manipulation above buy side and then a liquidity grab, a liquidity sweep, whatever you want to call it. This right now actually looks really good for a short. So I'm actually going to take this. And I'll take profits at this low just to keep it very tight. And my stop will be back at this high. Again, it's just a liquidity sweep and an inverse 2 minute. So it's close to a 1-to-1 trade. I could care less if it loses, but this is a pretty good 1 minute after buy side liquidity was swept. So I wouldn't be surprised if we are able to go down and take out this internal sell side. Now it's an election day. I'm trading this with 2 micros. So it's very small size, and yeah. And this is an eval account, by the way, guys, so. If this just continues higher here, that's fine, but this looks like a pretty good 1 minute. Good risk reward for me. Let me just make sure that NQ closed below here. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, so NQ closed below as well. So this should work, but if it doesn't, it doesn't, right? All right, so we got stopped on that. So our only 1 minute inverse for the day got smoked. Wow, look at this move, guys. Crazy. I mean, this in my opinion, this was an A+ trade. So I don't know why it didn't work, but that's fine. It's in the macro time, buy side liquidity sweep, inverse 1 minute, down to an internal sell side. It should have worked, but it didn't. So again, this was a lot cleaner than I thought. On the hourly, we did just sweep buy side, so my expectation is that we could potentially reverse here, but again, this is super bullish on the day, so just keep that in mind, guys. It is an election day, so I really wanted to go on live just to see what the price action is going to be like. And again, it doesn't mean that you're going to full pour, and this is just an eval for me. I'm going to try and take some trades on it, but again, we just took this 1 minute inverse and we got smoked on it after taking buy side liquidity. Again, I would take this trade 10 out of 10 times, and because I lost it, that's fine. Just due to the nature of the day, you can see how setups that would have previously worked or primarily work on regular days did not work today. So just a heads up. So I'm going to show my executions here so you guys can see. Right, so we tried to short the inverse and we got stopped immediately at this high. Yeah, I mean, this is wild that we're getting such clean price action on election day. You can see here in the morning, we had this huge down move. We took out some sell side liquidity and we inversed this 3 right here. And then at 9:30, we had this huge move and it didn't even stop. That's unreal. Excuse me. And then you guys can't really see this, but on NQ, we also had a bunch of, whoops. We had a bunch of equal highs over here and down here that all got smoked in the Asia and London session. And then we had this huge push higher in the New York, in which case we took out both sets of equal highs here. I did not expect the delivery to be this clean. I will not lie to you. But if it is, right? In fact, I think what a lot of what the market makers seem to be doing now is they know that everyone's smart enough not to take trades on these high risk days, and they make clean delivery happen on them. I've seen it quite a few times on No News Mondays, and then obviously today's election day, so this is the only trade that we took today, and it was a fail. Now we're inversing this 1 minute, but we do have a 1 minute order block here. Again, this could easily push us higher, but my expectation now is because of the PA today, maybe we come down and take out this low. But again, this was my trade today, and there's nothing really else presenting itself, sadly. So we do have a 5 minute fair value gap right here that we might want to balance. That's the only thing I see potentially happening here. But you guys can see a big majority of the move has been made today, right? We took out all of this buy side. Now this could be setting up to continue higher. So like we do have a target up here. And you guys also have to realize if we go to the daily and we draw the Fibonacci from the low to the high of the leg, the 50% is up here. So we might even be aiming there today. So we could maybe try along here if we get another 1 minute inverse. But if we don't, we don't, right? So maybe if we sweep this low and then get a 1 minute inverse, we can try and target this 50% level, because it seems like that's what we're aiming for now. Again, that's not guaranteed, but that seems likely, because it's the 50% of this leg, right? High to low. And then you draw it out in time. $20,398.75. So we could easily be aiming for that today. Again, we do have this 5-minute fair value gap here that we should probably trade into, and then maybe that is the pulse to continue us higher. We do have a 15-minute as well that we have to trade into here. So there it is. Now we might see an immediate reaction and continue higher. I don't know. I'm not trying to predict that here. I'm only going to take an A plus 1 minute if we get it. And that's it. So I hope that makes sense, guys. So if we get some kind of a swing up, manipulation down, and then we get some kind of a setup to go up here, then I'll take it. We've had one setup on the day, an inverse one after buy side was taken, and it failed. And so we already know that PA is not fantastic to the short side, and we have to be aware of that. Okay, so we traded down into this 5-minute here. Delete that so you guys can see that the trade was right there. That's the low of the 5-minute. Now maybe we get an impulse up. I don't know here. Again, I'm not going to take anything unless I see some kind of a move up, a manipulation swing down, and then a long setup up to this high. So I think the reason that this 1 minute probably failed is because of that, because the draw is higher. And also, if you look at this leg, I mean, there weren't really many manipulation moves down, so there wasn't a lot of sell side to target. I did think this was going to hit, and maybe it still does, at least this internal low. I mean, this internal low. But for now, we're just going to sit and watch, right? And technically, this is another 1 minute inverse. So if the market is truly bullish today, this might just be fully respected, and we'll just go straight up here. So that's another thing to study, not to take, because we don't know what's going to happen. And this is very high risk to take. Yo, what's up, Kors? Yeah, Kors is active, guys. He had a big winning day yesterday, and he's confident. And these are the days that Kors makes the most money he's ever made in his life. Definitely not the opposite. But Kors, I'm on an eval account right now. And that's just to show you guys what kind of PA happens today. We had this 1 minute inverse that failed. And yeah, that's the only thing that I've taken so far. You guys can see the executions on the screen. No, Kors, are you crazy? I would never, ever, ever use a live account or a funded account on a election day. Which inverse, Kors? So on the 30-second, this might be a nice inverse after we swept liquidity here to potentially go down to this low. But I don't have the 30-second chart. I only use the 1 minute, so. The one above the one you just showed. This 1 minute right here. This is not obvious enough to me. This is more of like a V shape, and it's like perfect. One candle that closed above. One candle that closed below an inverse. So like it went up, created the inverse, and the next candle immediately it closed below. That to me is a much better setup than going up and then creating this tiny little one and then inversing it when we have a secondary one below it. So that's another thing. If there's two inverses in the leg, it's not as high probability. So you see how there's two here, there's one here, and there's a tiny one right here. Yes, we closed below this one, but that doesn't mean we're going to close below this one. This could be used as support to drive us higher. Versus in this move, we took out buy-side liquidity in a macro time and swept and created the inverse in one sweep like this. And there's no inverses below. You see the difference? I mean, there is a tiny one here, but I'm willing to put that one, like, put it to the side versus this secondary one is huge. So, I hope that makes sense, guys. But this is about to close below. We should go to this low now. So you guys can see that we're almost there. And there it is. So in this case, it didn't even give us the entry because the entry would have been a close below this fair value gap before targeting this low. Does that make sense, course? Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so we took out this low, and now we're getting a bullish reaction here. Again, no A plus 1 minute setups that are forming. Again, I think still my bias is probably bullish today. Again, it's an election, so I'm not going to expect full continuation like I would normally expect on a day like today. But anything is possible. Again, this is the target. What is this level? It's the 50% level of this leg. So from this low to this high, I should move the, I'm going to remove the executions here, guys. Those were from yesterday. I don't want it to, is there a way to only show executions on specific time frames? Does anybody know? But what I was saying is that the 50% retracement of this down leg is right here, and it's right up close to buy side liquidity. If you look on the hourly, right, it's this area, this buy side liquidity, and this 50% retracement. So it lines up pretty perfectly with where I would expect the market to potentially go. Again, in the short term, we might have some down moves first to stop out some longs, but I mean, this one doesn't look terrible because we swept liquidity, but I would never take this. Now, knowing that today it's probably going to work, but I would never take this on a live account. Even an eval, it's just stupid. It's too small, and there's sell side liquidity down here. If you zoom into the 2 minute and the 3 minute, we have this fair value gap that was never balanced that we will probably go to at some point. So if I draw this out, see that? So we're very likely to at some point sweep this to balance all the unfilled orders that are down here. Now, if we're super bullish on the day, we won't come down here. We'll do it later on in the market, like the next few days, but yeah. So I would never take this on a live account. And we never close above, guys, if you can see here. Right? The close would have been up here, and the body did not close up there. It wicked, and then now we're trading down. Course, are you actually trading on a live account today? I'm curious if you were joking or not. And is anybody else trading on a live account today that's in here? Because if you are, you deserve a spanking. Oh, okay, so you were just being sarcastic. Or you were joking. That makes me happy to hear, of course. So far we're getting rejected from this 1 minute. If we inverse above it, don't be surprised if we go here, but I'm telling you right now, this setup is so shitty. Yeah, good course, I'm glad. Guys, also if you're in the stream, please like it. It really helps the algo for people to see it. And if not, you suck at trading. In the world of Furuz, gotta be sarcastic. Oh, big time. But yeah, one piece of advice, guys, like it sounds like Horse had a really big day yesterday. He had a great day in trading. And if you are in that situation and you haven't been in that situation before, trust me, do not trade with a real account the next day. You're going to be overconfident, overcocky. You're going to think that you understand the market and that everything you click is going to work in your favor. And just be careful. I would extremely suggest on big trading days, either trade with 1/10 of what you normally trade with, not even less, 1/20 of what you normally trade with, or just don't trade with a real account, because those are the days where you tend to be the most confident and the days that you lose the most money. So just letting you guys know that. If you are new to trading, it is super important that you do not size up after a big winning day. And again, if you're just tuning in, I do think the draw here is higher, up to the 50% of the previous leg. But I don't know if we're going to have a manipulation move down first. We're going to wait and see what we get here. And we'll only take a setup if it's A+. And if you guys don't know, I trade liquidity, new week opening gaps, and fair value gaps. Mostly inverse fair value gaps, but I will take continuation silver bullet trades if they present themselves and I really like the trade. But yeah. So far it looks like we're probably going to come down and trade into this 3 if I had to guess. Okay, it's unbalanced here. We're also creating a potential 1 minute OB. We took buy-side liquidity, so I would not be surprised to see retracements here. Again, it is a bullish day so far, and it is an election day, so I don't know what's going to happen. We could have continuation, but I wanted to go live to show you guys what this PA kind of looks like. Yeah, Ninja Monkeys, the blast off was crazy, and actually, if you guys go back and look, we actually had an entry. So this was an A+ entry, but it was right at market open, so I couldn't take this. But we swept liquidity right here, okay? We rejected off a new week opening gap. We swept liquidity. Let me just see if there's anything else here. We were delivering from this, was it a 4-hour fair value gap? Yeah, guys, so we're delivering from a 4-hour gap right here. And then if you look at the 3-minute, we delivered from the gap in Asia. We swept liquidity right here. And then at market open, so right, let me see, this is the low of the fair value gap. So literally right here, you could have entered, stop would be a close back below, and your take profit would be all the equal highs that were resting up here and the equal highs that were resting up here. This could have been your take profit. It would have been a crazy trade, but again, I can't take an inverse like that at market open. It's too risky. Okay, guys, so we're about to inverse this one. Don't be surprised if this works, but it's a super, super high risk inverse. I would never take this in real time. We just swept internal buy side right here by a tick, so keep that in mind. This could be potentially where the draw is now further down, which it looks like it is here based on the reaction. Lack of displacement above this internal high. On the 30-second, this would be more pronounced, but it's just on the 1-minute. Let me look at the 3 quick. Let's look at the 5. Yeah, this is a very tough place to be in. And it looks like we're bullish on the day, but we've already had this huge move. You guys can see we took out the buy side liquidity for the day. If you guys don't understand what that means, we have all this consolidation here, and this high is where everybody that's been short has been making money, right? Everyone who's short's been making money. This high formed, and people were still short in this leg. So where do you think that their stop loss is going to be? Right up here. So the market, whether you believe it or not, it's driven by an algorithm. It's a very highly complex code-based system that drives price up to these highs. Now, you can argue that it's auction theory. I could care less what you think it is, because it really doesn't matter. What actually matters is where is the liquidity resting. And in this case, it was this high. So the market drove us all the way higher. Now, I didn't get an entry from my model, but if this did not happen at market open, guys, if this happened, let's just say at 8:30, I would have entered this long, and I would have held, I would have probably taken profits at this internal high, and then held a runner up to this high. So if you have a good model, you can easily get into these trades, but again, it was right at market open, so I didn't take it. Ninja, I was trading during London session and just got home and looked. Yeah, bro, it sucks to watch that happen, but yeah, what's up, Ricardo? Good to see you too, brother. Guys, is anybody here trading with a live account today? You guys know that it's the day of the elections, right? If you are, I'm just curious why, and if you are, you should log out of your accounts. This right here that you see is an eval account. Though I think with funded accounts, you can't see a distinguish unless I click in it, and you'll see that it's a funded, but this is an eval. And so far, guys, no close above any 1 minutes here. Again, this is a super low probability 1 minute, though I wouldn't be surprised if today we get it, if it works, just because it's an election day and there might be just continuation longs. Again, I don't know if we'll have continuation today just because of the nature of the day, but yeah, you have to be super careful, and I would not be trading with a live account. Let me look at the 15 again. Okay, so also, guys, we do have this 15-minute, okay? If we are truly, truly bullish here, we might just push here, leave this as a, what do they call that? I forget ICT's terminology. A breakaway gap where they don't actually fill the orders here until later. So it's possible that we could form a 15 here and push higher. And yeah, and of course it's right, there is a big 15-minute inefficiency here, but if we're really bullish on the day, so like for example, guys, on the, was it the 4 hour I just showed you? So if you look at the 4 hour, right, if we have a very bullish time, we'll leave inefficiencies and we won't go back to them until much later, right? So if you would have tried to short here to take inefficiencies on the 4 hour chart, you would have gotten destroyed. And only later did we come back and balance these inefficiencies, and then we came up again and you would have gotten wrecked if you tried to trade into this inefficiency, and then finally yesterday we got it, and like a few days before that. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I have a feeling that we might just continue today, but this is the tough part with having a model that's actually profitable, is that for me, I can't short here because I think that there's a very high chance that these inefficiencies could be left, but I also can't long because we have these inefficiencies. I don't have any model to long yet. And this 1 minute inverse, okay, like maybe it'll work 1 out of 10 times like it is right now, but a lot of the times you'll get smoked trying to trade this. So not something I would advise doing. The only way we can take a setup, guys, is if we get some kind of a beautiful long manipulation back down, maybe test these order blocks, they become bullish order blocks, and then we can use it to go up to the 50% level. That's the only other setup I could consider today. We're gonna head into a macro time soon at 10:50. So we've got what, 27 minutes. So it looks like this 1 minute is working, and we're targeting this internal high right here. Let's see if it even gets swept or if they leave it for election day. I've seen this setup before, and I have seen it work, but again, nothing I would take with a live account. Okay, so we did sweep this internal high, as you can see. So anyone that was short had their stop above this little internal high right here. We didn't quite sweep this one, but let me see what NQ looks like. Okay, so the exact same thing on NQ here. Yeah, so from what I'm seeing here, guys, I mean, obviously this whole move was beautiful. We didn't catch it, and that's okay. That's part of trading. You don't catch every single move, especially when it happens right at 9:30. I think that's extremely risky. But now that buy side is hit, you can expect the market to not behave as efficiently. But again, it could move higher. We don't know, but there's no model here for me to trade. So we unfortunately will have to watch it. And if we get some kind of a pullback and then a nice 1 minute inverse, we can try that. Market is probably going to go to this high, but again, I wouldn't count on it. We did just sweep another internal high right here, so just be super careful. If we took a 1 minute right here with our take profit at the high, that's $100. That's pretty good for 2 micros. We're seeing some big movement in the markets today. But yeah, guys, don't be surprised if these two highs hit. So this internal high and this internal high. Do not be surprised. Okay, so we are getting a pretty bearish reaction from there. If this 2 minute inverses, I don't think that's a half bad short to here. It's not A plus, but it's not terrible. So far we're getting a bullish reaction out of it, but if we close below it, let's see. And the take profit would be this low. Yeah, that really doesn't look half bad, guys. If we get the close in 30 seconds, or 20 seconds, we can consider trying this. But again, we want to see it close below. So far it's not closing below, if you can see. Stop loss would be at the body of this candle right here. And it's good because we swept some internal buy side. We've already swept another set of buy side here. So it's not half bad. Oh, it's a 2-minute too, by the way, guys. Let me check the 2-minute on NQ. Okay, so we're not getting the close just yet. We have the close at 28. So we have another more than 30 seconds to go. But if it does close below here, guys, that's not a bad short, in my opinion, down to this internal sell side. Because everybody that's long right now has their stop below this low. Okay, so it looks pretty good. But let's see if we get the full body candle close below. So again, guys, I'm taking this with 1 micro because of the nature of the day, but I'm willing to take a risk on this. So we're going to enter here. And if it closes below, okay, perfect. So stop is going to be at the body of this candle. Take profit will be at this internal low. And as soon as I would say this internal low gets taken, we'll move our stop to break even, just in case it reverses against us. Floral money. Which state is best for investing in real estate? Bro, why are you asking me about real estate right now? Okay, guys, so I think what I'll do here, I'll wait for one more low to be swept before I move my stop to break even. So again, guys, my stop is going to be at this candle's, the body of this candle or the high of it. And floral money, I don't mean to be rude, bro, but what a general lazy question. Like, what do you mean which state is best? There's so many states that you can invest in real estate and be profitable. There's no best state. It depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to do high-end luxury flips? Well, if you go to Meth Head, Ohio, or some random meth head city in Ohio, obviously that's not going to work. But if you go to LA, you're going to have a great success. If you want really cheap short-term flips, rental properties, then Ohio is great. Like, it just depends. So by best, there's so many different scenarios there. Okay, guys, so why did it not fill my order? All right, so that was a short that worked. That's A+. Again, I'm not going to hold anything for more than that, but you guys can see how these 1-minute inverses work. Sell side was swept, buy side was swept, 2-minute inverse, excellent A+ trade to the next internal low. I'm not going to hold it more because of the nature of the day. We could be easily bullish. I'm not trying to make home runs today. Order filled, best sound. Yeah, I don't like having those sounds up, but for some they might. So yeah, floral money, now that I'm not distracted. Best is such a vague term and can mean so many things depending on what strategy you're using. The best market for high-end flips is going to be completely different from the best market for cheap rental properties, right? Like in Ohio, you can buy a property for 30 grand and you can get 600, 700 in rent. The ROI on that is crazy. You're looking at, I don't know, what is that, 700 times 12 for a $30,000 investment annualized? So you're talking $8,400 for a $30,000 investment for a rental is a 28% return annualized. Right? That's dope. But if you're looking for a high-end flip, it's going to be a completely different market. So I hope that makes sense. And there's so many different strategies for for investing too. You can do flips, you can do the Burr method, you can do regular rentals, you can do Airbnbs, there's so many different things, so. But yeah, guys, does everybody understand how this 2-minute worked? We swept internal sell side. We swept sell side here too, by the way, so that's already a manipulation leg. Then we swept it again, and we created a V-shaped inverse with all this low resistance liquidity to the downside. You guys see how this is like micro LRLR? It's like a trend line that forms here. So that is why I took this short. Now, because of the nature of today and how bullish it is, I would not be surprised if it just takes out a low and then continues higher. But yeah, and we also traded into this 15-minute gap, which is another reason for the trade, right? We wanted to balance the little 15 here. But I hope that makes sense to you guys. If it doesn't make sense, you can let me know. But if it does, you could type 1 or just say yes or don't have to do anything. But I hope that makes sense to you guys. So right now we're potentially forming another OB here. So if this closes below, this would be potential for more downside to trade into this set of order blocks right here. There's 2 right here, right, that are bullish. And we have an unbalanced fair value gap. So keep in mind that that could be traded into as well. Did anybody take this with me? I think that Ninja Monkeys did, but I don't know if anybody else did. So you guys can see here, I've had 2 trades on the day. This 1 minute inverse failed. Of course, took it on an eval. And then this 1 minute, or this 2 minute succeeded. So we immediately got stopped on this trade. You can see on this close. And then here, we entered here and we took profits at the low. So remove the execution so you guys don't get confused. If I want to connect with you to pick your brain about doing flips. Oh, pick your brain. Picking somebody's brain. Picking somebody's brain is a, I really hate that term. But yeah, we can talk, Binosh, but I'm not gonna go into ridiculous detail because that could go for ages and ages, but I'm happy to discuss with you what I do and how you can, you know, I'll give you a generalized idea of like what I do and how you could potentially do it, but I think you said you had rentals, right, Binosh? Or maybe that was somebody else. Damn, I have to sneeze. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to. I was glad to see that you were investing. I need some water. Do I have water here? I think this is mine. Yeah, Ricardo, that was definitely a good one. Yeah, but no, no worries. I don't mean to be a dick. I'm just saying, like, for you know how many of my friends from back home, I mean, I wouldn't say how many, but quite a few people have seen, you know, some success that I've had, and they'll like they'll DM me on Instagram after not talking to me for however long, you know, friends from high school or blah blah blah, and they just like randomly just ask me like, how do you do this? I'm like, okay, but that's the laziest question. It's like that question that was asked earlier. No offense for money. Which state is best for real estate investing? Like, guys, what kind of a question is that? That's such a lazy question. Like, what do you mean best? Or they ask me, how do I get into real estate flipping? Like, why are you asking me that question? That's it from somebody who's successful at any industry. If somebody comes up to you and says, how do I do this? Like, what do you expect from that person? Do you expect them to like take time out of their day and call you and speak for 4 hours about what you have to do to get like started? It's so simple for you to just go on Google and research how to get into some industry or how some space. Like, that's the laziest question, and anyone that's successful in that specific industry is gonna cringe at you asking that. So never DM somebody with a lazy question. Like, come on. Stupidest thing to do. Okay, I'm getting hot. I'm gonna take this off. I'm getting riled up. So, hope you guys never do that. Okay, so it looks like we're about to balance this one. if this 2 minute inverses, I wouldn't say that's half bad, but again, we're so high and we're in premium, I would never take this on a live account. But I wouldn't be surprised to see it work. So guys, right now we're 1 win and 1 loss, but if you noticed on my first trade, I took a two micro position. On my second trade, I took a 1 micro. So I think I lost like $70, but this move with 1 micro was much bigger than this move was. So I think I made like $50 and I lost like 72, something like that. So even with a half size trade, I was able to make more than half of the loss back. Because the sizing was different, but the amount of points that it moved was bigger. Okay, so we're rebalancing this too. I don't know. I would probably expect this high to get hit again. But again, it's election day, and I mean nothing is presenting itself yet here, so we sit and we watch, right? Bro, one of my friends bought Palantir in 2021 for 40 or $38 or something. And he sold it when it got to 27. So he lost a bunch of money on it, and then he just texted me saying Palantir hit my price target. And I was like, great, like what, do you get a cookie for that? If you have no money in it, who gives a shit? Sorry, I'm being kind of sinister today. Oh my god. Damn, he's spamming me. bro, bro drank the evil water. Yeah, if you guys ever drink, if you drink from a glass bottle, the Pellegrino, um, if you don't consume the microplastics, you go demon mode. The microplastics make you a goody two shoes. They lower all your testosterone. So we gotta drink from the glass. Wow, he is spamming me. So guys, you see how I just want to point this out. So if you ever miss a move, okay, this is something an error I used to make a lot when I was younger. When in my early days of trading, when you see a huge delivery, so obviously we had this accumulation, right? Now we're potentially manipulating. Could be manipulation, could be continuation or distribution, doesn't matter. But when you have a huge move and you take out an internal buy side, be very careful about immediately trying to long. Like you missed a move and you have FOMO, right? Look what happened if you try to long here. You just get smoked. So just expect after a big delivery that you're going to get consolidation like this, which is what we're getting right now. Ninja monkeys. If I was stuck on an island, I have two things for the rest of my life. I'd pick red 40 and receipt paper. Bro, it's actually amazing to me how many people, like, because of TikTok and YouTube and stuff, how many people are learning about this shit. Like, if you would have, so I've told you guys this before, but I was eating raw liver literally before the Liver King was like a thing. Because I found these obscure niche accounts on YouTube that were doing carnivore and like all this shit. But now you ask like the average person what a seed oil is, or what like artificial coloring is or artificial flavoring, and people know what it is, and it's like, and it's insane. And now we have potentially, guys, it's election day, but we might even have RFK coming in, and he's gonna hopefully ban seed oils. I don't know if that's gonna even possible, but he wants to put beef tallow in the McDonald's French fry machines, which is crazy. Like, dream come true for the holistic nuts out there. Cores, yes, and after the consolidation, either price expands or contracts. Yeah, so what we're probably doing here is consolidating for another leg higher, because again, I'm expecting the 50% of this leg to get hit. Also, there is a new week opening gap up here, and we just broke above this one with ease, so I'm expecting the next new week opening gap to get hit. So that's another thing, guys. If you don't have this on your chart, new week opening gap, new day opening gap by Kryptonite. This is an excellent tool, and it points out the new week opening gaps on your chart. What is that? It's just the gap that forms between Friday's close on the futures market and Sunday's open. So the market closes at 6 Eastern on Friday and opens at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. The gap, or the difference in what the market has done in between those times is called the new week opening gap. And it acts as a magnet for price. It's basically an area of liquidity. And so when you see, for example, in this case, we have a very obvious internal high within a new week opening gap. This is a very strong area for liquidity. And everybody that's short the market right now, right, they see this huge down close candle. They're like, oh, the market is going to dump from here. But in reality, what typically happens when you see this type of a big down close like this, a down move, what typically happens is we end up closing back above it, or we come up to the top of the fair value gap. So in this case, it would be this 20,359 area. But I think because of the fact that we have this, the top of this fair value gap, we have the 50% retracement, a new week opening gap, and buy side liquidity. This tells me that this area is going to be a very strong magnet for price. Whether it happens today or not, I don't know. And again, we do have this 2-minute fair value gap that on a bullish PA day, I would expect this to continue. But again, it's very high risk to take this. Ninja Monkey's Liver King really convinced people he was just eating bull nuts instead of using Q. Yeah. I mean, I think he's like going crazy now. I saw some stuff that he's on like some crazy drugs and shit, but yeah. It's wild to me that people don't look at somebody like that and think that he's not on steroids. Cores, yes, taking out sellers and early buyers. Yeah. So watch for this 2-minute, guys, and see what happens. If we close above, I would not be surprised to see this buy side get hit, this buy side get hit, and then this 50% level. But let's see what happens when this gets hit. If we get a 2-minute close above here and it just pushes, I would fully expect continuation on the day. But again, right now I can see that we're rejecting already. So, Cores, what crypto are you buying, bro? This is something I'm looking at, guys, by the way. Let me... Oof, actually, I don't know. No, Cores, hell no. I'm in Bitcoin and Riot. Those are the only 2 crypto plays I'm in. I am considering selling puts on Coinbase, so I'll show you guys right here because the market is kind of delaying right now. So I was looking at Win, but just really quickly, Win is like a casino in Las Vegas. We had this huge bullish move over the last few weeks, and I was looking for an immediate reaction from the 50% level of this fair value gap, and we closed quite a bit below it. So I want to see if we form a wick here. If we do, I'll look for a long swing. I'm also in C3AI. This is going to be one that I'm going to target this internal high and move my stop to break even here and then target 33.11. So actually right now I think is a great time to enter this as a swing. If you don't have a position, you can consider it. Obviously only risk what you can afford to lose, but The RR in this trade is pretty good, almost a 2.5 to 1 RR. Oxy is another one I'm looking to add for a long-term position. This is not a swing trade. It's not anything but an investment. We're trading into this 3-month fair value gap. So I think this is a great place to start accumulating longs. Also, Buffett, if you guys know, Warren Buffett is a big holder of this company. And his position is now underwater. So anything that you're buying right now, you're getting a better cost basis than Buffett. Now, who cares, right? But I'm just showing you guys that he also is an investor in it. And looks like we're about to close above the 2-minute, guys. And after, let's just look at what price does here, and then afterwards I'll show you my 2 crypto plays that I'm looking at. So if we close above this 2-minute, in theory you could take a long here. I'm not, because we're in premium and I just don't think it's A+, but if you want to, you could try it. And your target would be, I would move my stop to break even here, and then I would target this internal buy side and then leave a runner to this 50% level. But again, we just took out this internal high right here. So we could easily reject here. We're in premium of this specific range that we're currently in. Not an A+ place to take a long. And I explained that before. When this was an opportunity to trade here, I explained that I was not taking this, right? And I told you why. But it could easily still work. I'm just not in it. So what you'd want to see here, if you are in this trade, you want to see this 2-minute fair value gap act as support. You do not want to see us close back below it. If you close below this, it means one of 2 things. Number one, it means you're wrong. Or number 2, it means that we're still in a consolidation phase and that you should step aside until another A+ setup presents itself. Because closing above an inverse and closing back below it, it's just a signal that the market is now choppy and it's not delivering efficiently. If it was delivering efficiently, it should use an inverse as support to continue higher. And in this case, so far it looks like it is, but we'll see what happens. Correct course, but you guys see how not only is this a trading model, the inverse fair value gap, but you can actually use it to determine if the market is in consolidation still or if we're going to deliver efficiently. So here we're delivering off the 2-minute and we're seeing a very nice bullish reaction. But if we close below it, you know that you shouldn't be entering trades again. You shouldn't get stuck in this chop because we're likely to chop further. But here it looks like we're delivering smoothly, but we'll see what happens. Cores, very well said. It's not, if you can, so that's the beautiful part about this trading model. And again, it's not the only thing I use, but I use it because of how effective it is. Not only at seeing what the market is doing, but also it's just an effective model that gives you like a set of contingencies for your trade. Like, you know when to cut it. Like if I was in this, I would know that immediately after I see a 2-minute close below this, the trade is done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's like an official, if it closes below, you're out. If it closes above, you stay in. It's that simple. So I hope that makes sense. But not only is it like it gives you a set amount of parameters, but it also allows you to determine if the market is in consolidation or if we're in distribution. So right now, we took out this internal high, lack of displacement above. So that's my first indication, nothing to do with the model. But then now we can see that we're closing potentially back below here. So that's a sign to me. If we close below this, A, you'd get out of the trade. B, you know that the market is likely still in a consolidation because we're not delivering efficiently out of PD arrays. This is a bullish PD array, and if we don't deliver efficiently out of it to buy side, we know that the market is still in consolidation and that we're likely to get manipulated further here. Anyone that's trying to take longs in this area is going to get smoked. So I hope that makes sense, guys. We've got less than a minute left until the close here. But if you are in a long here, you would have entered here and you are sweating right now. This is why I don't enter trades in premium, especially after we've made the delivery of the leg already. This was the target for us was the hourly, right? And we hit it. So the only thing that I did was take 2 shorts. This one was not as smart. It was the first inverse that formed right after buy side was taken. Especially on election day, I wouldn't have been surprised to see the continuation here, and we got that manipulation. Now it looks like we're probably going to go down and maybe even deliver into this 3-minute fair value gap that we never did from before. Exactly, Ninja Monkeys. How many people are blowing their account on this move right now is probably unreal. And I used to make this mistake as a newbie trader, but I've learned my lesson too many times. And eventually, guys, you're going to think, oh, like, I don't know, I could never have predicted this. But if you watch the market enough times, you will see this happen over and over and over again. This specific model, I've seen this exact leg of price. Maybe like give or take a slight differences, but I've seen this form before. This manipulation leg, this move higher, and then this tiny little woman that is formed here. I have seen this exact setup happen before. And sometimes it hits this buy side, sometimes it rejects, sometimes it goes all the way up to this buy side. It's hard to predict which one it's going to be, but you know what potential things will happen. And so like here, I knew that we were trading in premium to the range. We hit this internal buy side. We're in premium. It's not a high probability setup. And now we're closing below. So this tells me we're likely to go to this internal sell side and probably to this 3-minute fair value gap. So if you were in, your entry would be here. Again, I'm not taking this, but still something that you can watch and tape read. So you can see that this internal low almost got swept here. And this is another thing. I've also seen a situation where it just almost hits this internal low and then we continue higher from here. So definitely different potential scenarios here. If this woman inverses, I would say this is higher probability than this 2-minute that we just had, because we've already rejected. And now if we come back, it's likely to deliver us to this internal high. Oh, and I'm sorry, guys. This is not an entry. I don't know what I was thinking here. But you would need to see an inverse in this leg. I was using this one, but it's not correct. So this is not an entry. Oh, now I'll pull up Riot quick. So I just want to look at Bitcoin actually. Let's see what I haven't even looked at it today. 69. All right, so yeah, exactly what we were expecting. I called this in a YouTube short, by the way, guys. But we have this low resistance liquidity, right? The trend line that retail talks about. We broke above it. We traded almost up to internal buy side, and now we got a retest of the trend line. Let me look at the hourly quick. So I want to show you guys, this works on crypto too. Okay, right here, we took out sell side liquidity. We inversed an hourly fair value gap on this candle. You could have taken a long. First target would be here or your stop to break even. And then you take a partial at this high. And then I would leave a runner up into this hourly fair value gap right here. So this all works on other things, not just on futures. It works on crypto too. My Riot position is up pretty nice today. So we've been adding this between $6 and $10.50, give or take. I've just been adding in that position, DCAing. But I think this is going to rocket once crypto starts rocketing. We're about to inverse this weekly. We came close earlier last week, but we never did. But we're potentially forming a weekly order block. So if we close above this weekly, I think that's a good risk-reward trade. You would enter, for example, here. Your stop would be, I'd give it a little bit of room, but a close below the weekly fair value gap. And then I would move your stop to break even at this high, and then I would target all of these buy sides. Maybe take a partial at this high, and then leave runners to these two highs. But this could be really, really good. Oh, so there we go, guys. We got the 3-minute rebalance that I was telling you guys about. So from here, okay, this is actually not bad. Okay, I'll show you guys right now. I'm calling it ahead of time. We swept liquidity. We're trading into a 3-minute fair value gap. We have a order block on the 3. If we get an inverse above this 3-minute fair value gap, so again, you're looking for a body close above the 3-minute fair value gap that formed right here. Stop would be a close back below. I would take a partial at the buy side right here, and I would leave a runner You could even, if you take 3 micros, whatever your risk tolerance is for your portfolio size, for your eval, I would take a partial here, and then I would hold a runner up to the 50% level of the leg. So those are your 3 options here. If we get this entry, if we don't, we don't. But you see how I have a model, I know exactly when and why it should form. I have an entry, and I have a set stop loss. Now, it might be a little bit lower than this. Let's just say that we get a 3-minute close here and then we close down. You might lose more than what you're seeing here. But in general, you know what the stop is going to be. It's a 3-minute close, a body close back below the fair value gap. So I'll draw it for you so you understand. So if we now react bullishly from this 3-minute, we close above this 3-minute fair value gap. This is your entry. Your stop would only be if we close below this 3-minute. If we wick down and then come back up, you're still in the entry. You're still in the position. And then you'd hold it all the way up to buy side. Stop to break even at this internal high right here. I don't know why I just did that, but at this internal high. And then you would take a partial at this high if you want, and then this high, and then leave the runners to these secondary areas that I told you about. So if you guys have any questions about the model, you can let me know. But that is the general idea behind it. So again, I have so many different parameters I'm looking for. I want to see a bullish reaction out of a bullish PD array and a bullish, this is another bullish PD array, this 3-minute OB. I want to see a bullish close above a bearish PD array. So this is what's holding down price. I want to see a close above it. And that's when I would take the entry. So I hope that makes sense. So it's not just IFEGs, guys. You have to understand liquidity. I know that there's more liquidity above us, right? This 50% level and the hourly buy side. I know that there's more liquidity here and here. So I fully expect to see bullish PA. Now, what I'm seeing now, we have this bullish hourly, right? Now we're potentially forming the hourly order block. It's also a manipulation candle to stop people out who were early to longs or were chasing longs from this leg. Then we would see continuation. So it's not just fair value gaps, it's liquidity that I'm using as well to form my model. And a lot of people, they'll just take whatever hourly fair value gaps or whatever inverse they see, and they get smoked because they don't understand market structure. They don't understand liquidity. Course would see if the 1-minute inverse is first. Yeah, that's actually not a terrible. If you want an entry, you could try this, but again, just because of the nature of today, I would wait for the 3. But if you're talking about this 1-minute, yeah, I think this is not a bad thing to wait for, but I think that if we inverse the 3, we're just gonna smoke the 1. But which 1-minute are you looking at, Course? Are you looking at this 1-minute or are you looking at this 1-minute? Because this is a lower risk entry, but it's high risk in the sense that we haven't confirmed market structure to the upside. This 1-minute is, you're right, holding down price, but if this 3-minute inverses, you're getting a lower entry and it's more likely to work from my experience. The highest one. Yeah, I do agree with that, Course. If you're really, really conservative, then I would wait for that. If you want to be as safe as possible, yes, I would agree with you. The only issue is a lot of the times what they'll do with these 1-minutes is they'll break them without giving you like an optimal entry. Like they'll inverse the 3, they'll come down, and then by the time this inverses, we're already up here. So your RR now goes from what it is right here to this. And then if you have your stop to break even at the high, you're basically praying that it's not going to come down and wick you out before continuing higher. So that's the only reason that I don't particularly like the one. However, it is the safest entry as long as we're not closing up here. So yeah, I agree with you on that. Guys, I can't believe it's election day. So what do you guys think? Is there going to be riots in the streets? What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to go smoothly? Do you think Kamala's going to give up her presidency? Or is she going to have her own January 6th? I wonder if the algorithms listen to me and they censor my video, my live stream. Oh shit. I don't know why every time I open my text it pops up on our stream. They def do. It happened to ICT. Yeah, but no, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I'm sure that they list. It's not that they're listening, but like they have a code. They have like an algorithm that can listen to people's voices in real time, and if they say something about the elections, maybe it censors your content. I don't know. The algo AI filters it all, yeah. So guys, look at this. We're getting a very bullish wick, right? Hopefully we get a close above the 3. If it is, I'll take a long. If you guys really want to try something, you can try this inverse right here, but again, I think that's too high a risk. If you do take it, I would move your stop to break even as soon as this high is hit. But this doesn't look bad, I'm not gonna lie. It looks pretty good. Do we have equal highs that formed on NQ as well? Let me look on the 1 minute. Nope, they're not equal on NQ, but they are equal on MNQ. So again, guys, this 1 minute, I mean, it is a little bit lower risk if you move your stop to break even immediately, but I'm not 100% sold on it yet. So yeah, I don't even know if you'll get the entry for it. We did just take out this internal high. Yeah, so look at this. We didn't even close above it, and now we're immediately rejecting. So keep that in mind. There is no entry here for the one. Yeah, this definitely is tough, Cores. I am not going to lie. This 1 minute does put a brick in the road, but I hope you guys understand what I said, where if the market is truly bullish, they're not gonna give us this entry, they'll just give us this one. But we'll see what happens here. Let's see how it plays out. See who's right, who's wrong. I mean, no one's really right or wrong. We haven't predicted anything, but I know Cores said he was waiting for this 1 minute. So let's see if he gets this entry, if it comes back up here. If either of us is right, we'll see what happens. Okay, so we are getting a bullish reaction here. This is forming a potential 1 minute OB as well. So if you want, you can try and take this entry here with your stop below the body of this candle. I just personally wouldn't. So again, if you're entering this 1 minute inverse, it's not half bad because we just did form this 1 minute order block. Your stop would be, it would be a hard close below the 1 minute. I just wouldn't enter this personally. I would rather wait for this entry. And this is one of the rare times, guys, where we could get an ICT 2022 model short. But I think just based on what I'm seeing here, a lot of people are expecting this to reject, which is why it could easily close above, and then we would target this high and then move our stop to break even at the high. So we just barely touched into it. Let me look at NQ quick on the side here so I can see. We haven't entered the 3 minute on NQ or on MNQ yet. Oh, we did on MNQ, but on NQ we have not entered the 3. Okay, so we're entered the 3 on both now. Okay, very bullish reaction here, guys. Very bullish. I would have rather, honestly, I would have rather seen this come up into this 3 minute slowly. The fact that we're just like rocketing past it like this tells me that this could easily just manipulate here. So we did just enter the 1 minute, right, that Kors was talking about earlier. So what I would have preferred to see is a slow trickle up into here, because that would give shorts a lot more confidence of continuation down. But the fact that we're rocketing above it, this high-end premium, could be manipulation. I don't really like that. I will be honest. Not a huge fan of that. But this still doesn't look half bad if we get the close above, which happens in 1 minute. Hold on, guys. My dog is scratching here. Come on, Lou. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Okay, so no close up. Oh, we did get a close above on the 3. I don't like this, guys. The stop is huge, but it's probably going to work. I really don't like this, I'll be honest. How does a 1 minute look? So still no close above. Yeah, you see, Kors, this is a sticky situation. Sticky for sure. We're just about to end the macro time. We haven't closed above the 1 yet. Very like manipulative 3 minute candle here. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to take this. And this is part of the screen time thing I told you about earlier. My dog's being annoying. Hold on, guys. I might have to go outside. But this is part of the screen time thing earlier. I have seen this type of a situation where we just completely close back below this. So I don't like it. Now, on the 1 minute, if we do get the close above, I mean, you could try it, but I don't know. Something in my spidey senses tells me this isn't A+. And it's part of experience. Like, sometimes your model will present itself, but just based on past price action. Hold on, Lou. Hold on to the thing. So based on past PA where I've seen this, you have to be careful for sure. So, guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to let my dog out, and then just watch this, though. Watch the 1 minute close and see if that takes us higher here. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, guys. So, what has happened so far? The 1 minute has not inversed. We are potentially forming a 3 minute OB. This is a tough call for sure. But yeah, what we would probably want to see here is the 1 minute close above. They're going to make this tough for sure. Because if you enter on the 1 minute here, you also have to realize that your close, your stop loss would be a close below the 3. So the stop is a lot bigger than you would want here. Also, the macro time just ended. Our next macro is at 11:50. So, yeah, this is a tough situation for sure. Yeah, I'm not a guys, again, I'm not a huge fan of this. I think probably we'll go higher here, but I need to see a 1 minute close, and then I mean the R is just shitty, guys. I don't know. I just wouldn't take this. Because if you enter here, your stop would have to be all the way down here. You have these internal lows here that have to potentially be swept. We already had delivery today. It's election day. It's after 11. Like, I don't know. It's just not for me. I hope you guys understand why that is. Ooh, 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 ooh. We read it. Da-na-na. Did we just form equal highs here? Ooh, okay, guys. So I actually kind of like this, okay? Oh, we just took them out. Never mind. I was about to say we had equal highs on the 1 minute. I have NQ pulled up here, so we had equal highs here and we just swept them. What you could have done is try to take a scalp from lower down if you rejected first. Like let's say you entered here and then move your stop to break even when the equal highs got hit, and that would allow you to take it further. That would be a good trade in my opinion. But because those equal highs didn't form, it doesn't give us an opportunity to enter long here. Then it's not a plus. Banana. We ready. Goodbye. Wow, one of my swings is up 4.5% today. That's dope. That's the C3 AI position I showed you guys earlier. Also, guys, if you haven't subscribed, I try and live stream most days, so subscribe if you want to see live streams. And also follow me on X. That's the on Twitter. I post there every single day. I actually posted the swing trades there that I have. I don't post them everywhere, but sometimes I will post them. So if you want to see them, you can follow me there. Course, so what do you think, bro? Are you going to take this 1 minute? It's definitely a tough call. So look how they're not. So what could easily happen here is we just get a huge pump and they don't even give us an entry for this one. So just a forewarning, guys. But it looks like they're not. We just swept internal buy side and we're rejecting here. But let's see if we get the close in less than 30 seconds from right now, then we'll see what happens. But again, guys, I've seen this situation play out before, and it's definitely 50-50. If we close above, we can easily push here, but we can also get another rejection, come down and close below this internal sell side, and then potentially come close to inversing this 3 and then get the manipulation move up afterwards. It's too 50-50 for me. When I'm unsure of which direction it's going to go, I tend to stay out. So right here we got the 1 minute close. So in theory, this is your 1 minute long, but it's too risky for me to enter this. Especially on election day, after a big move has been made, I think this is like a suicide mission. I don't think this is A+. We ready? Ooh. Chorus, you didn't answer me, bro. Are you taking this? Are you in or not? On your eval. Ooh, big wick here. Okay, so this looks like it's probably going to hit this high, but again, I can't be in this. If you are in this, guys, I would have your stop to break even as soon as this internal high hits. So again, guys, like I said, I've seen this happen before. It's worked in the past. Obviously, it has worked in the past. There's been many times where this model has occurred, but there has been many times where it comes down and sweeps these lows. So I'm not interested in trying to guess which one it is. Only when I see a model that I'm very confident in do I take it. So interesting. Okay, so guys, here's one thing that I want to point out. I know you can't see this right now, but give me 1 second. We did just form equal highs on NQ. So, right here, we formed equal highs on NQ. If we don't sweep these right now and we get some kind of retracement here, that, in my opinion, will be a good A+ scalp to then move your stop to break even when they hit and then hold runners all the way. So if they give us a chance to get in here, which it looks like they might, if we start retracing down, to example, this sell side, one of these two, I think that's a much better risk reward trade to then take out these highs later. So hopefully they give that to us. So far we're coming down to this volume imbalance on the 1 minute. It's a volume imbalance on NQ, not on MNQ. We have equal lows right here on NQ as well, so we probably will come down and sweep these. Hopefully we do. And then afterwards we can look for a long. But it doesn't look like we're going to get it here. It just looks like we might. I don't know. We'll see. If we do get it, then we'll take a long. Otherwise, we'll just have to watch it. But I'm praying they leave these equal highs low. So they just swept them, and now we're pushing. So it is what it is, guys. You don't win every single trade, and sometimes you have to watch without FOMO. So if you did enter here at the top of this one, your stop is obviously to break even here, and you can just watch it probably take out this high and then continue even higher after that. So you guys see what I was hoping for? I was hoping for these equal highs right here to not get swept right away and to get a further retracement, to then look for a long, and then it would be a much better RR. We could move our stops to break even quicker, and it would be a lot more fun to watch a trade go in your favor when it's a free trade and your stop is already at break even. So that's the theory behind it. Now we still haven't taken out the final internal buy side here, which is right here. So it's probably going to take that out. And then, yeah. Yeah, 100% course. You guys see, I've told you this before, but there's so many frus that think they can predict every single move to the tick. They know exactly what's going to happen. But the reality is that every single candlestick pattern has multiple different scenarios that could play out. So they are guessing. There are certain models that work with a lot higher probability than others. But this one was very 50-50. So anyone that's telling you they knew this was going to happen, they're lying. But yeah, what can probably happen here, we'll take out this high, then this one, and then maybe continue higher on the day. But again, it is already past 11. We already took out a strong internal buy side. We have had a good consolidation. But I don't know if this is just going to distribute here or continue, or maybe we manipulate and then distribute down further. I don't know. It looks more likely that we're going to go higher here, though. But again, I'm not trying to predict that now. I've taken 2 trades today. You guys can see the executions on the screen. One was a loss, one was a win. And that's how some days work, right? You're not going to get A+ setups every single day that follow through, to the tick. It's just not how trading works. I see there's this one guy, I think his name is Dave Teaches FX. First of all, the dude's, I hate to talk shit, but he is the most annoying, like, I don't know what it is about him, but he, like, every red flag in my body, like, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up when I listen to him speak. He's the most annoying trader I think I've ever listened to that has a big following. And he says that every day is a trading day. Like, and he pretends like he knows exactly what's going to happen in the market. If you look at his live streams, he's drawing like a million different things on the screen. I can't take him, but it's just there's a lot of people out there that are walking red flags in my opinion. Bum, bum, bum. We ready. So yeah, guys, there's not really much to say right now. I was expecting us to hit this internal high, but we didn't. We left it by a tick. On NQ, on NQ we swept it by a tick. Interesting. So on NQ, I know you guys can't see it, but we did sweep it by a tick. If you look right there, the buy side got swept, and now we are rejecting. So this is actually a really good area to short, in my opinion. Actually, I don't think so, because we still have so much buy side above, so I actually take that back, guys. And if you look at the 2 minute, the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute, there's no A+ inverses. Even on the 1 minute, there was no inverse that formed here. It's just a wick, so this could easily just be coming down to balance some order blocks to continue higher. Would not short this. Take that back. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. 1 second. But pay attention to how we react from this order block. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. But watch how we react from here and potentially go higher or not. Oh, oh. Okay, this is pretty darn bullish, guys. Um, Damn, this is a tough spot. So you can see here on the 5 minute, we are forming a potential additional 5 minute OB to drive higher. Um, and on the 1 minute, this looks really funky. So yeah, definitely a tough spot here. My guess is that this is just going to keep us higher up to the buy side, and then you could move your stop to break even from there, but I'm not taking this. There was, oh guys, and I didn't even see this, but there was a 5 here. Okay, so if you are entered on this on the 5, obviously it never closed below. If we get, guys, here's what I'll do. If we get a 5 minute close here with one contract, one micro, I will hold it. I won't take my profits here. So, oh, actually we don't, well, the 5 minute only closes in 3 minutes, so I'm probably not going to get it. Whoa, one of my friends is texting me, it's official? What's official? Oh, wow, look at this push, guys. Okay, so buy side was just taken. We're probably going to go up to this internal high now. And the 50% that I was talking about. My friend just trolled me, said the election is official, and then he said it was Mu Dang, the hippo. You guys know that little hippo from Thailand? Apparently he like got 2 cakes, 1 Kamala cake, 1 Trump cake, and he picked the Trump cake. Okay, so we just swept buy side. Yeah, this is so tough, guys. I ain't gonna lie. Woo! Wow, Riot is up 7% today. That is so dope. My swing trade is up 5%. Okay, guys, so what's probably going to happen here, I don't think we're going to come back to this OB. We're probably going to push all the way up here. But I can't chase it, so. Again, this is a internal fair value gap on the hourly, right? We're looking to balance it, so it looks like that's going to get tested. Again, I can't take a trade here, but I can tell you what I think is going to happen. If this 1 minute gets... No, see, I wouldn't even take this 1 minute inverse because I do think we're still going to target this. But if we come up here and reject it and then close on below this 1 minute, that would be a good short down to this internal low. I would take that with a live account. Or with an eval because it's election day, but you know what I mean. Guys, if Trump gets elected, I think that crypto is going to go insane. But you know what? The other thing is that it's like the inverse theory. If everybody thinks something's going to happen, the opposite happens. So maybe people think if Kamala gets elected, that crypto's going to dump. But maybe if Kamala gets elected, crypto pumps. And if Trump gets elected, crypto dumps initially. And then they reverse it. There's so many different scenarios. But who knows? That's all guesswork. Nothing trade related. I think that crypto will rally regardless of which president gets elected. I think it's, I mean, both parties are capitalistic by nature. So you just have to buy things that you believe in and hold them. So for me, one of the high risk plays I talked about was Riot. If Bitcoin goes crazy, Riot's going to go ballistic. And we can see Bitcoin's up 3% today and Riot's up almost 8%. Now, if we hit all-time highs and we moon past it, you're going to see crazy days for things like Riot, Mara, all the Bitcoin miners. MicroStrategy is probably going to go ballistic. So, just a heads up, y'all. We ready. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, guys, so it looks like this, obviously this high is up next, and then this high. I just don't see an entry here. There's nothing. Again, you could have taken this, but again, like I said, it's pretty darn high risk. So watch how this 1 minute fair value gap reacts here. I mean, we already traded into it once, so it doesn't have to trade back into it, but... Oh, damn, Tesla's up to 253. We ready. So guys, if this 1 minute inverses, again, I would never take this because the bias for me is still bullish, but in theory, we should run back down to this low. You guys see how, I mean, it's a decent setup because we did take out high of day, but because my liquidity draw is still higher, I won't take this inverse. So you guys have to distinguish between an A plus setup and an A plus setup when liquidity is in the opposite direction. Excuse me. Also, guys, something interesting I saw, if you follow, there's a guy called the Traveling Trader on YouTube. He made a video the other day about, I think it was yesterday, a lot of elections, the day before the election or the day of makes a low for the year. So it doesn't always happen, and this situation, he talked about it being very similar to the 2000s. But the day before and the day of an election for the last like 4 elections has made the low for the rest of the year, which is very interesting. Found that. So we'll see if that plays true this time. Again, that's not investing advice. It's just something that you can note. Is anybody looking to swing longs for the election? Or are you guys smart and not... are you guys smart and not risking stuff like that? So another trade into this 1 minute. Repeat that again about the low in the election. So one account that I really like that tracks data, his name's the Traveling Trader. He's a good trader as well, but he talked about how in the last 4 elections, the low of the year was made the day of or the Friday before the election, I think. I forget what he said exactly, but essentially what that means is that for the remainder of the year, for most of the elections, by election day, the low was already put in. Now, there's other elections where it was not, but the last 4, that has been the case. Okay, guys, so it looks like we're about to inverse this one. Let's see if we do. We got more than 30 seconds left on the candle, though, so don't expect anything just yet. Is there a 2-minute here as well? There is. Guys, if this... Wow, so if this 3-minute gets inversed... I don't know. Because we have all these order blocks here. It's going to be a tough one to try and short. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it, to be honest. Because we have this 5-minute OB here that should hold price. I mean, it might not, but it's too risky to try and do an inverse when we have all this buy side up here. So we just traded into this 1 minute, so watch the reaction out of this 1 minute fair value gap. We're also trading out of this 5 minute, so there's a bullish reaction so far from the 5-minute OB, so that's something to take note of as well. I don't see anything, though. I mean, if you want to try along here, you can, but again, I think that's really stupid. I mean, we've already taken high of day, so... Yeah, and I wouldn't take this 5-minute inverse because we do have this 5-minute OB here. I'd want to see a close below the OB before even considering shorts. We have 2 minutes until the 5-minute candle closes. And again, guys, another reason I wouldn't take this inverse is because my bias for the day is still bullish. I know there's liquidity resting above here, right? We have this 4-hour fair value gap high, and we have the 50% of the last leg above here. So would not expect, or I wouldn't say I wouldn't expect shorts to work, but I wouldn't look for shorts personally. Even though in theory, if this 1 minute closes below, we should continue further down. It's not something in my model that I would trade. Is anybody looking for shorts here? Again, I'm not. Doesn't mean that your model doesn't allow you to take shorts. What I'm going to try and do too, guys, is when we see moves that happen, before I explain why they work or why they won't, why they're likely to work or why they're likely not to, I'll try and test you guys. And explain, we'll see if you know why it would be or wouldn't be a good trade to take. Yeah, I agree, Cores, that buy side got taken out, but I know that liquidity is resting higher, so I wouldn't take it personally. It doesn't look A+ either because we have this 1 minute here. Now, this 5 minute technically did inverse here, but again, we still haven't closed below the order block. We have the 1 minute fair value gap. Too many scenarios where this could go back to buy side. So I wouldn't take it. So you guys see how right now we're reacting out of this bullish 1 minute? So as long as this holds, I mean, we should come back up to buy side, and I think in the longer term today, we'll probably continue higher here. There's no inverses on the... There actually is a 3 minute here, but it's so small that I wouldn't say that it's anything special. But yeah, any longs you take for the rest of the day are going to be high risk because we're already in premium of the range, right? We already made a huge move today. That doesn't mean we won't continue it, but I'm just saying that any longs you take now are going to be higher risk. But if we do get an AA plus long, I will call it out, and I will probably take it on this eval account if it really is too good to ignore. So we're about to enter into this 2 and 3 minute, right? We have this inverse right here that formed, and then we have another one on the 3. They're the same inverse, just on different time frames. If we get a 2-minute close above, I mean, you could try this, but again, this is not A plus in my eyes. And how do I judge that too, guys? I mean, obviously it's based on experience, but an experience tells me if I click the button right now, if let's say with this 2-minute inverse, my heart would be beating. Because I know that this could easily just dump here. It's not something that I know works, let's say, 9 out of 10 times. It's not an inverse that works 9 out of 10 times, and that's the reason I wouldn't take it on a live account. But if I see one that I know works 9 out of 10 times, like if we sweep this liquidity, and then we get an inverse, and we're trading out of a bullish FEG, so let's say we sweep this liquidity, and we're still trading out of this 3-minute, and then we get a long, that would be A plus to me. So that I would take. But for now, I don't see anything. And it's good because I know when my model is where an A plus model is likely to present itself. I look for areas on the chart where there's liquidity resting, and I know that those are high probability areas for longs to occur because everyone that has been long gets stopped out. Now, market structure is bullish here, and we have all these order blocks holding up price. So the odds of us getting down here are not as high. But again, I would never just long randomly just because I believe that liquidity is going to get swept. Okay, so no close above the 2 and no close above the 3. So there's no entry here. So this 2-minute candle closes in less than a minute. We're reacting from a bullish 5-minute PD array. You can see we barely touched the mean threshold, and we're reacting here. So this should be bullish, guys. But again, there's no model for me to enter, so I can't do that. But don't be surprised if we go up to these highs at some point today. Yeah, guys, I'm thinking about going on America's Got Talent for my whistling. What do you think? All right, so we're about to enter into this 1. Let's see if we hold this or inverse it. Again, not a... Ooh, you see this, guys? So it looked very bullish, but we're not getting a 5-minute close. I'm getting an alert. So it looked really bullish right here, but now we wicked. So on the 5-minute, this is not as bullish as it looked like it was earlier. This tells me we're probably going to dump all the way down to sell side as long as this 1-minute inverse holds. Again, if you want to try this, you can. I'm not going to because I still believe the bias is bullish. But in theory, if this closes below in the 1-minute, you could target this low. So we got basically 5 seconds until the candle close. Because you got to think here, for everybody that was long on this candle, where is their stop? This low. So it's very likely that the market will drive us down to here. if this forms a 1 minute here, guys, I would try this. So like, let's say we come down and we sweep some of these lows and we hold this 1 minute FEG just the way it is right here where it's very obvious, and we enter a macro time, I would try that, but looks like it's not going to give that to us. As you can see here, we're closing up the fair value gap, or the potential fair value gap, so. So we're still holding this 5 minute OB, and we do have support from these 5 minutes as well. But we need to see what happens here. Again, there's no entry, so I was going to say that this now is a short, and your stop would be a close back below this 1 minute FEG, right? So this is very risky. I wouldn't take this, especially when liquidity is resting higher in my view. And now we're in the 1150 macro, guys. So wherever price is meant to spool, which in my opinion is up, we should do it in this macro. Especially if we get a close back above these two down close candles, that will create another 1 minute OB, which should lead us up to this internal high. And we actually technically do have a tiny 1 minute IFEG here, but again, this is so not obvious, I wouldn't take it. You see this? So tiny that there's no reason to. Okay, guys, so very bullish reaction here. If you want to try a scalp, like a 1-to-1 trade, risking 30 to make 50, you could try this, but nah, not A plus to me. You know, guys, I am going to try this. I'm going to try it because we had all these bullish order blocks here, and then we failed to inverse. We inverse this 2 minute on this candle, so I actually do like this as an inverse. It is higher risk for sure, but I do think this 4 hour is going to eventually get balanced, so I'll try it here. Again, it's once this high gets swept, if we get a big push above it, then I'll move my stop to break even. But if not, I'm just going to get stopped here. So once we move like 10 points, so let's say like to 23.42, I'll move the stop to break even. I'll just do it here, guys, because I don't want to get smoked, but I do feel like this is probably going to run up to this 4 hour gaps high. And now it's a free trade, so we'll just watch it play out. And again, this is 1 micro on an eval account, so why would I take this with a real account? I wouldn't. And even on an eval, you can see I'm taking it with very small size because it's not high probability. It's just something that I notice is probably going to work. Okay, so up 17, up 18. $18, bro. It's actually funny to be trading with this size. So we want to just see this we want to see this as like a breakaway. We don't want to see it trade back in. If it does, then we're going to get stopped. And this should be the low. I don't want to see it trade back into that, so I will move my stop here. Right? If we're truly bullish here to balance the gap, we shouldn't go lower here. We should just push. And what I'll do actually, guys, I'll move the sell to just below the 4-hour gap, just because in case we reject earlier, it'll allow me to take profits without having to wait. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so pretty big push here. Again, hopefully it holds. But our stop is far above break even now, to the point where we'll make a tiny profit, or we'll get stopped to break even. Or we'll hit full take profit, sorry. And again, guys, this is an inverse fair value gap with an order block. It's a pretty high probability setup, which is why I took the long personally. Again, not high probability enough for me to trade with a full size trade, even with an eval, but just something that we can have fun with and watch price. Okay, so we don't really want to see it sweep, obviously. But I'd rather not see this low get taken out again. Okay, so if we close above this 1 minute, again, we should never see these lows until this 4-hour gets balanced. If it does, obviously that we're completely wrong. We have another 30 seconds till this candle closes. If we don't get stopped out here, that'll be pretty funny. I have a feeling we will, but let's see. I'm surprised we didn't here. I mean, like I said, I didn't want this low to get swept, but it really did. I mean, it came just a tick below, or just a tick above, so. All right, so now we just got stopped for a small profit, and that's okay. What'll probably happen here is maybe we trade into this 1 minute, and then we go up. What happens next is of no interest to me. So, looks like this is a liquidity sweep, and then we'll probably go higher, but we'll see. So you guys can see order block, order block, order block, order block. This is probably just coming down to maybe test this part of the order block, and then it will continue higher. But yeah. Not trying to be a superhero here. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. This looks bullish. Again, we have 2 order blocks here. We'll probably trade down into maybe this 1 minute for about. I'm looking at the wrong screen again. So we'll probably trade into this 1 minute FVG after these 2 order blocks get filled and then push higher. But again, I got stopped for a small profit on this trade, so I'm not trying to enter again here. Okay, guys, and after this macro, I think I will be done for the day. I'll get off the stream because there's not much else here. If some kind of an A+ model presents itself, I will post it in Discord, so you guys will be able to take it live if you want. But until then, we'll just watch this. Okay, you can see we have a very bullish reaction out of this 1 minute. So again, guys, I think, like I've told you before, this 4 hour, was it a 4 hour? It was an hourly, sorry. This hourly fair value gap needs to be rebalanced. Again, we are in a bearish breaker here. So, I mean, we could get rejections from anywhere here, but I think at minimum we'll balance this 4 hour fully. It's a very high risk trade, so I wouldn't take it personally, but I'm just saying that it probably will happen. Bum, bum, bum. I can't believe it's the election today, guys. Do you guys think we're going to see a result today? I'm going to guess that we don't see I think they're going to have some kind of a recount or some. I don't think that all the states are going to be. It's not going to be official. Maybe tomorrow morning. But the news is going to be popping, and X is going to be popping off today. There's going to be. I think Trump hired a bunch of pollsters and auditors to work at the polls to try and prevent fraud, but in reality, there's so many other ways that fraud can happen with the whole voter ID thing. It's wild. I live in California, and you literally don't have to have an ID to vote here. You can just hand in somebody's ballot if you want to, ask for a ballot, and claim that you're a certain person, and they're ordered to give you a ballot. It's wild. Like, I could literally go to a poll and say my name is Joe Henry Smith and I live at Candy Cane Lane, and they're required to give me a ballot. It's wild. Yes, Lulu. Hey, Lily, I'm working. Hey, I'm working. Come here. Okay, guys, so the macro is almost up. And when it is, I will be off. And again, if we get an A+ setup later, like if we get a sweep of these levels of liquidity and then we get the long, I'll alert that in the Discord. I'm just looking too on the 1 minute. If we formed any equal highs, it doesn't look like it. But I think you guys would be smart to stay out here. There is literally nothing. So, and you know, guys, I'm just gonna end it here because I'm not gonna just watch for the next 2 minutes. But yeah, hopefully we get some kind of a manipulation move down and then we get the longs. That will be really nice. Though I have a feeling that it's going to work from here. But yeah, I'll alert that out in the